Hello, everybody, and welcome to the JH Show. It's going to be a great night tonight. Tonight is St. Patrick's Day, so I guess we'll post this today as well. Happy St. Patty's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Um, yeah, I need to pull up the Twitch as well so I can actually watch the chat, but uh, not YouTube. I don't need YouTube in the fucking background. All right, so tonight's gonna be fun. It is obviously St. Paddy's Day. I like to. I guess there's things that I like to do. I don't know if anyone else shares the same thoughts, but on St. Paddy's Day, I go and just get really fucked up because it's one of the best days of the year to just get fucked up cheaply. And oh, also, if you're wondering, where the fuck did the accent come from? Well, uh, I've been doing voice acting for a while, and I thought, you know what? Let's fucking bring it in for the for the podcast for the 420. 420. Jesus. Number one, I'm really high right now. Number two, I'm having a beer, and we're just chilling with the boys. Um, Jaden, you're wearing green. Good shit. Good
Yep,
shit.
nobody's pinching me,
Lucky
motherfucker.
you, boy. All right. So, I guess we'll start with that. Do you have any plans tonight?
I'm getting fucked up in VR chat, that's for sure.
What about you, Austin?
Nope, I don't feel too well, so I'll have a beer with you guys in the spirit of the holiday, but not much beyond that.
Oh,
I've been sick
it's
for a couple days.
fair enough. I get that. You can get my roommate's kind of sick right now, so he's struggling. But anyway, so let's talk about some past. I'm gonna explain why this holiday is one of my favorite holidays of all time. Um, First off, I just love the culture of Ireland, Scotland, and the Celtic culture. It's one of my favorite cultures of all time. The music, just the people. It's it's almost like that's kind of the fairy isles, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of fairies over there, in a good way. Like magic. It's very magical. That's the word I was looking for. But and that's just my thoughts on it. Um, I love the culture over there and everything that goes on. But this day, because of that, this day is one of my favorite days of the year because it's the one time I can use this accent and just enjoy it. You know, it's like I just become the Scot that I'm meant to be, if you will. It's fun. So I'm rocking the Jameson shirt today, having a beer. Jaden, what, uh, what, do you have any fun stories from this holiday?
Uh, I'm no, mostly I don't remember them, but I usually just plan to get together with people and drink. I think I
Right.
went bar hopping in North Carolina one time with my cousins, and it was just really fun. I
And
don't
you didn't
usually.
stop by.
I didn't know you at that point. This was years ago. I've only been legally allowed to drink for like 6 years or five
Yeah.
years. So before that, obviously, just at school we would do like wear green
Right,
and we would get
right. We're
candy and
green
shit.
and all that.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big St. Patty's guy, but
It's
I am
fun.
reading about the history of it, and it seems, I never
Yeah,
knew that.
it's like the
Obviously,
it's like the one day that the Celtic people have like the most pride because everybody wants to get drunk and have a good time and wear green and it's a really fun time for that and I think that's I don't know, it just brings people together, I think is what it is. But um what about you, Austin? Do you have like a memory from
So,
St. Paddy's Day?
I was gonna ask you guys. There's something they say, and I think it's in Celtic, but I remember just going through Snapchat, and you can tap hotspots around the world, and I went over to Ireland on St. Patty's Day, and they all said the same phrase, and I don't remember what it was, but I think it was for St. Patty's Day.
Sláinte. That is
Lunch.
Sláinte.
I think
Yeah.
so. But no, I don't really do anything for it.
No,
I'll just have a beer, get drunk. I mean, same old shit.
yeah, it's a lot of fun for me because I never have to worry about wearing the color green because it's tattooed in my fucking skin. So, I'm like, all right, even if I forget to wear green one day, someone pinches me, motherfucker, it's tattooed in my fucking skin. Come on. Um, yeah, no, I love it. So let's talk about drinks. There's a lot of special drinks for this holiday. One of my favorites is the Irish car bomb, and it's One of my favorites, because have you guys ever had an Irish car bomb?
Yeah.
Possibly.
It's
I just
uh,
they may not have called it that.
it's pretty simple. You take Guinness in a pint. I don't have one on me right now, but uh, yeah, you take Guinness in a pint and a shot of cream and I can't remember what else, but it's a type of liquor as well. Anyway, you drop it in the Guinness and then you take a bit. You just drink the whole thing because when you drop the cream in, the whole thing turns white and you just drink it and it's like candy. They're having dollar versions of this tonight. They're gonna sell out within. They better have bottles on hand because I'm gonna
I'm
probably
sure they
go through.
will.
I'm probably gonna go through like I don't know. I do have work tomorrow, but I do want to get a little fucked up. So I'm probably gonna have like 8 of them because they're just good. And $1. They're having them for $1. They're usually 15.
Dude, it's so hard to not when they're that cheap, dude. It's
I
it's
mean,
like
they're usually
Especially
a
now,
15 a bottle.
everything's
disservice to
gone
not
up,
get a
man.
bunch of them.
Because the Guinness itself is 5. Like, because you have to have the whole pint. Because each shot and the way they're made, it's 1 pint, so you have to have it for that. But um, yeah, they're really good. Do you guys? I'm trying to think of any other drinks. That's one of my favorites. But do you guys know of any that are like specified to St. Patrick's Day or like Ireland?
I can look some up.
Well, to be fair, all drinks are for St. Patrick's Day.
I
It
guess.
is
Yeah. No, that's a good
like
point. That's a really,
I
really good point. Um,
There's one
Jameson.
called
Jameson's
the
good. I like Guinness, and
Guinness is right.
you know I love the little plastic like ping pong ball they put in the bottom of it,
Yeah.
and you can once you're drunk and you're trying to see if you're still with it, you can
Ding
spin that
ding. Yeah.
around and you
huh,
Right.
that's
that was kind
cool.
of my test when I was
Yeah.
drinking it
That's
was
that's a
if I
good.
could spin that thing around and quit clacking it around in the can or bottle, then I
Or
would be
that's
okay
it's
for
a
another
good
one.
indicator of when you're done with the drink. Because sometimes when
Yeah.
you get so fucked up, it just I mean, you're just going through them and you don't even notice. There's one called a Caribbean bitch, and it's really fucking smooth. It's like Powerade mixed with something else. It's really really smooth, and it's got this pineapple juice in it, and yeah, no, it's phenomenal. I can go through those
There's
way too
one called
fast.
the Shamrock Shot, which is
That's it. Is another one.
creme
Yeah,
de
yeah.
menthe, vanilla vodka, heavy cream, and chocolate
Heavy cream.
bitters.
Oh, fucking amazing. Those are uh, those are special requests at the bar I go to. A lot of those shots are, because not a lot of people know how to make them. But the bartender at the bar I go to, he's pretty skilled. He knows what he's doing. So you could ask for most of those shots, and he can make them up pretty nice. Pretty sure he's working
Have
today.
some
Doesn't it kind of
history
surprise you who
facts.
they let be bartenders these days? Like you'll get in there and you're like, "Can you make this?" And they're like, "I don't know what that
Well,
is. Do
and
you
the
want a
other
beer?"
thing is, I mean, his assistant, usually they have 2 people behind the bar. She's not as experienced as him. A lot of them aren't, but they'll. I don't know what it takes to actually be behind a bar, but she'll. If someone asks for a drink, she'll actually just look up all the ingredients and how to make it online, which I guess in a way is like a way to do it, but it's better to know it. Have practice in it, know you're making it right, because people want their drinks right. But speaking of which, cheers. Anyway, um, what were you gonna say? History fact there, Jaden?
I just pulled up a few things because there may be some people in chat like me who have no idea like the history about it. Just that everybody can get really drunk on this day during the week and it's
Right.
okay, But I think it's important to appreciate where it comes from. Anyway, you were talking about the Celts and how they would feel super proud on this day or whatever. And the first thing that I looked up with that was apparently leprechauns come from the Celtic belief in fairies, and that's also the reason that people get pinched is because a leprechaun
Right.
could come up and pinch you at any moment,
If
or
you're not
whatever the
wearing
belief.
green.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
thought that was pretty cool.
It's that culture is very, very deeply rooted in like almost I don't know, it's a very rich culture and it's a very magical culture. The music itself it's wonderful. I mean, I have a Celtic flute right here. So, You know, the
Play us something.
I could. I honestly could. I don't know how it was saying through the fucking mic, but yeah. You know the fucking Hobbit. Fun stuff. Um, yeah. It's one of my favorite holidays all the time. Just the culture, and I like you going way back to Ireland. There's I don't know, just there's a lot of history there, even with World War Two. You know how many of them boys from Ireland, how many of them came out of there to fucking put their lives on the line. It's that's a lot that's sung about in the Irish culture is the there's they're very proud of their culture in the way that they've defended it, in the way they've built it. Um, and it's very light-hearted, and there's a music to the culture as well. In a way, I think so. Uh, I don't know. So what else? I'm trying to think of things that I could go on and on about it, but we're doing a podcast, so I could uh I don't know what questions we have for like the history of Ireland and the history of St. Paddy's Day.
While
Because I
you
know. Go ahead, Austin.
okay, while you look that up, I've got a fun story. So I used to do martial arts, right? And has anybody seen the Boondock Saints?
Of course, right?
I
Well,
forget
my
I've
That,
seen
mother
it.
it's
used to
one of
do
my
like film
favorites.
reviews and stuff like that, and I got to talk to Sean Patrick Flannery.
Really, I
Yeah,
met uh, I met
back and
Norman
forth.
Reedus.
Yeah,
Yeah, Comic Con. That was fun.
cool.
But that movie is really heavily based in like the religion they were representing, and the they're from well in the movie they're from Ireland, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, got the Irish accents and all that. Saint Patrick was a 5th century Romano-British Christian missionary and bishop. He was a bishop in Ireland. Much of what is known from Saint Patrick comes from the declaration, which was allegedly written by Patrick himself. He believed that he was born in Roman Britain through the 4th century into wealth, yada yada yada. Why do we celebrate it all? That's the question. That's really what we're trying to get down to, right? Today, St. Patrick's celebrations, St. Patty's Day. Better say that way. Celebrations been greatly influenced by those that developed into Irish diaspora, especially North America until late 20s. Sean Patrick's Day. Wait, no, fuck. Jesus, I can't even read, boys. Um, St. Patrick's Day. It's not Sean. Jesus. Watching too much Jacksepticeye. Was often bigger celebration among diaspora than it was in Ireland. That's interesting. So it's more celebrated over there than it is Ireland. But I think that's kind of changed now. I think it's Ireland loves it. You see a lot of big parades on this day. Um, so all right. So where would you go if you were to do a St. Paddy's Day celebration? Obviously, you'd wanted to do it in Ireland, right? But where else? Where else would you like to go? If you could go anywhere else in the world, to do the celebration for it. Uh, Austin, where would you go?
Man, there's so many. It's kind of hard to say because I like so many different types of drinks that there's so many cultures with a lot of good beverages, right? Like
Right.
Canada's got whiskey, Ireland's got whiskey, Germany has beer, Italy has wine. I guess it depends on like there's parts in pubs in England that are Irish that are owned by Irish people. There's plenty of Irish all throughout the UK. So I guess anywhere in the UK would be all right.
That would be a lot of fun. What about you, Jaden? Where would you go?
It's tough to say because like as I've grown older, like bar hopping isn't really my thing as much anymore. Like I'd rather just chill at home and not have to fight traffic and wait in lines to get drinks and
Right.
I don't know. So literally anywhere in the world, I guess. Like Germany would be great because I've always wanted to go to Germany
That'd
anyway.
be
I
cool.
went to an Irish pub in Japan when I was in Japan, and that was pretty
Oh,
cool.
that'd be sick. There's a song by the Irish. It's called an Irish pub, and it's funny because in the lyrics it's talking about there's one in Honolulu. There's one in like they talk about the Irish pubs because there's one in every single place in the world because everybody loves Irish like culture. It's great. We've probably got like six here in Salt Lake that are very Irish based. We've got the Piper Down. That's a bar down there. Um, I don't know. There's one in every fucking state. Everybody's got that one Irish bar. What is it? It's a magical fucking land that loves. You know, I don't know what it is. What do you think it is, Jaden? What do you think? Like, what it is about this culture that makes it so unique?
I would say, as an American, what most of us would probably say is like just the carefreeness of it. Like it's an excuse to just let go and enjoy yourself amidst all the
Right.
chaos of life. It reminds you to, I don't know, go out and have fun with your family and friends. I
Yeah.
would say that would be my take on it.
And would you say
So
it's a mostly adult holiday, or do you think there's a way that kids can have fun too?
I mean, kids have been celebrating it for years. Look at schools and shit. They're always wearing green. You know, I remember growing up. For me, it was, we were always wearing green. If you weren't wearing green, you're gonna get pinched. Yes, that was
That's true.
the way it was. It was fun. It's just like, you would just they see a green fucking kids, and you're like, yeah, these guys get it. There are people that didn't give a fuck, obviously, but even in high school, it was, you'd notice, a lot of people cared about it. It was fun. But I think now as an adult, it's a lot more fun because you get to get fucked up. Right? It's
I'm
It's
not.
not
reading
like when
here.
you go ahead.
Go ahead. You've heard. I have mine. Like I can read mine, so I won't forget it. You go
Oh,
first.
okay. Um, I think that it's one of those great holidays where, like Christmas, just a pretty high level of commitment. Easter,
Right?
you have to go to church or something, right? But with this one, you don't really have to necessarily know a lot about the holiday. There's
Right.
not really a poor way to practice it. As long as you've got green and have that Celtic spirit, you're good to go.
Exactly. That's great. Jaden, what were you saying?
Austin had asked, could kids celebrate it too? So I'm reading, like when it was first celebrated, they also do like parades and stuff with like bagpipes and
Right.
woodwinds and brass and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and kids could definitely come out and do that. And originally, they would like, I guess where it originated in Ireland, they would all go to church to celebrate the patron saint, and then at night in the afternoon, they would go getting fucked up and shit, I guess.
That's
But
okay.
so
That
it's
makes
like a
sense.
church thing on that
Right.
side. Your family and kids could celebrate and
That's
honor,
interesting.
tradition, and
And then at night, everybody just gets fucked
yeah,
up.
it's
That's
like we're
fucking
saying
great.
we're on the front pew
Uh,
praying, and then we're going to the
yeah.
bar.
What a fucking
Uh,
change. Ah, Jesus. No, it's fun. I'm reading here. The day commemorates Sean. I said Sean again. What the fuck? I'm seeing shit, boys.
man's thinking
Uh,
Sean Flannery or whatever.
Sean Connery. He's not
Really
even.
Well,
fucked you up.
Yeah, I know. Saint Patrick, the arrival of Christianity in Ireland. So it's like you're saying, um, the heritage and culture of Irish people in general. It's a celebration of that, and I love it. I fucking love it. Uh, but I don't know. It's always been fun to think of like good luck and like I don't know the culture over there. Like I said, it's just magical. I don't know what it is. It's great.
I would say, I mean, Celtic music in general is typically used in like a lot of fairy tales or like
Right.
movies
Right.
about, so when you think about magic and stuff, they typically have like Dungeons and Dragons.
Like
What kind of
Dungeons and
music do you think
Dragons.
of?
Of course,
Like you think of like the Celtic style music. So, I mean, that's pretty understandable.
that's that's a good point. A lot of fantasy, like a lot of that music came from Ireland, is what you're saying, yeah. Um, and it adds so much more emotion. I don't know what it is about the music too. It's there's a lot more emotion in music than there is in a lot of other cultures. Um, and just the amount of pride. There's a lot of pride there. You look at Conor McGregor. When he won the first title ever, the entire country of Ireland just like was just cheering him on. I mean, how fucking cool is that? That you have like a kind of a champion to, root behind if, that was
I didn't know
big.
he was from Ireland.
Yeah, Conor McGregor's from Ireland. He reps
That's
it
that's like
Most
hard
the
too.
most
Irish
Irish
names
name I've
ever.
ever heard. Now that I think about
Of
it, yeah,
course, right.
Yeah.
it's literally like
No,
the
he
most
is.
Irish name I've ever
He's
heard. Why did I never make that
he's
connection?
one of the like heroes of Ireland. If you think about it, he's an icon for sure. Um, and on our side, an icon of Ireland is obviously Jacksepticeye, fucking legend. YouTuber. I'm waiting for him to drop a video. He better do it today. It's been 3 days. We're waiting. I'm waiting for his St. Paddy's one. Cause it's one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. He always has entertaining shit. Um, did you guys are you guys into Jacksepticeye? Did you ever watch him?
Yeah.
I know of him. I don't watch him.
Dude, I've watched like him, Markiplier, and Bob and Wade and all them for years.
Yeah,
Like, it's
they're
weird. I was thinking
just
about
such
it
a
the other
good group of
day.
friends.
I was like, damn, I've been watching these guys for 10 years.
Yeah,
Or what feels like it.
what it feels like. Well, it's been damn close, honestly.
Yeah.
Fucking, they probably all started around 2014 or 15, and look how where we are now. I mean, what the fuck? 2022.
It's
Those
Uh,
wild,
guys
dude.
kind of represent a shift in media from like television to,
Yeah,
free just subscribe on a website.
yeah,
right.
that's a
And now
good
we've got
point.
stuff like Twitch and whatnot.
Yeah,
Speaking of
that's
like a transition from TV, I know this is kind of off topic, but not really. Like Netflix, I heard, is about to start eliminating the ability to use your membership outside of your household. It's like if you share it with your family and they live in different places, like they're
Oh,
gonna
really?
stop making.
They're gonna
And I
IP
was like,
lock it?
I guess, I
That's.
guess,
I
I don't
hope they
know.
don't.
I mean,
Honestly, it'll
I
ruin
hope
it.
they don't either, but
Well, what am
I
I
mean, I
supposed
guess
to
I
do
can
if
see why
I'm
they're.
at work on my phone watching it? Like, do you
It's
have
a
to
good point.
register
I
your
don't know all
internet
the
connection?
details, but you were talking about Markiplier and all them, and how I would say that they did usher in that new stage of media that hadn't ever been done before. And like you said, you could just subscribe for free. And I think that's great. And I think along with that and Netflix and Hulu and all these streaming services, TV, I don't know but like one person in my life that actually has cable anymore.
I know. That's
It's
died
my
out.
parents.
That's died out. My father
It
has
was
it as an
ridiculously
option.
expensive too, man.
Yeah, my father has it as an option, but that's through satellite TV, which is still broadcast. So, you know, he doesn't pay for it because we have the satellite. It just picks up channels. Isn't
Well,
that crazy?
satellite, that's
There's
one
just,
thing.
like it's just picking up channels. That kind of blows me away too. Like we can just stick this. I have one out there. We could just stick this little satellite out our window and I can pick up 58 channels. What the fuck?
That's wild, dude. We're literally talking to each other through the sky,
I know.
bro.
What the fuck?
Or actually, I don't know. Is internet cables in the sea, or are we using the
No, it's
Wi-Fi?
like ours is fiber optic, so it's actually
Yeah.
laid into the ground. So our internet, like the router gets the signal and it can send out the signal,
So
but
it's
the
all
signal doesn't
connected.
come from just the router. Like it has to be plugged into a central location and then sent out. That's why some places don't have fiber optic or 5G yet, is because they don't have the actual
But
framework for that.
that's what's
Yeah.
crazy is how fucking quick. I remember seeing internet speeds go up like big time. There was a leap because I remember you could only get like 10 megabits and then it was like
I remember
20
that.
megabits and then the next company was offering like 30 megabits. Now we have gigs. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, literally. It's mind-blowing, dude. And this has been happening in the last, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 years.
But
It's
Fuck.
our
like
It's
internet,
ridiculous.
been less than
our
that.
internet's some of the worst in the world because our companies just like control the shit out of it.
That's
So
true.
like we have
Oh,
worse internet than most other places. Like I think Singapore and South Korea have like these ridiculous, like just unheard of internet speeds, and that's because they're not as heavily controlled and limited like ours is.
Huh.
That's why
That's
monopolies are bad.
yeah. That's so crazy. And well, I mean, I guess like you look at some place like Shanghai, like right Shanghai. Is it Shanghai? Well, wherever it is in China, like just downtown China, like they're all connected. That's a whole city of fiber optic cable. You know how crazy that is? If you think about all the billboards they have there, if you think about everybody's phones are all connected, that's a hive mind. That's weird.
It's mind blowing, really.
Yeah, and they're all connected, and they can be connect. Well, I don't know if can connect, but I mean, in a way, that internet connection is still there. We can connect with them through, certain channels, but that's a weird thought. We are all connected through the internet now, like
Yep.
heavily, heavily. Not even just it's everything we do now. That's a weird thought. Uh, we're doing this through the internet.
I
Man,
told
my
my light
mind was
bulbs what to do
blown.
through the internet.
This took a turn for the stoner. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what happened. The stoner took the mic,
Uh,
bro.
shit. God
But I
damn,
think
this
about that
took a
shit all the time.
turn for the stoner. Yeah.
It's
Um,
wild, dude.
yeah, it's a weird thought. I'm wondering where it's gonna go if we survive, obviously.
Dude,
Um,
Starlink. I think that's the next step.
Starlink. Oh, that was the other thing that blew my mind. Light travel might not be as far away as we think. What the fuck?
Where do you? I mean, elaborate. Where do you get this information? What did you hear?
Like the just look at the equipment we have now. Rockets and all this. We're making electric vehicles that fart and cause no emissions but can go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. What the fuck?
It's
So you
weird to
think light
watch. Have you ever
speed
seen one of
is
those
on the
things
rise
done it?
because of that?
I don't know. Just look at the technology we have now. It's so fucking every day they're creating new shit and working on
True.
new shit.
Humans are always innovating.
But it's this time in our lives right now is probably the most innovative we've ever been, I think,
Mm-hmm.
by far. So we have I heard this on Joe Rogan too. We have different stages of the fucking like life, right? We've got the Stone Age, obviously, right? And then what was after that? You had Stone Age, and then it
I
was
don't
like,
know history like
cause
well at all.
fuck, there's different. Let me see if I can find it. Um,
I know in Age of Empires, I think the next age is the Iron Age or maybe the Bronze Age. Any Age of Empires fans?
right. I'm just trying to figure out because there's like the Stone Age, they had the Ice Age, they had all this rebirth after the Ice Age, uh, and then you have now, then you had like the Industrial Age in London, like the 1800s, right? That was when steampunk was a big thing, right? Um, London, that was like the 1800s. So Assassin's Creed Syndicate, if you've ever played it, that was the next section of human innovation. It was all these engines, right? And now 1900s come around, we get more modern cars and modern vehicles. Then you have 1944, World War II happens. This is where we get really innovative, right? What are you laughing at? Are you higher than me
I'm
right
just
now?
I'm No, I
uh,
mean I appreciate this history lesson, but my mind's like, where is he going with it? What were we talking about? How did we
how
get here?
fast? Look how fast the
Oh,
generations have,
I was
like the
so
progression of technology.
lost.
We were talking about the progression of technology through the history of time. Human innovation, right?
Okay.
So look how far we had the Stone Age, then
Yeah.
London, the steampunk era, engines and all that. Then we get 1900s, we get better vehicles and all that. 1944, World War II happens. Or what was it? 36.
It's
Didn't it start?
43, I
Was it
think.
43?
World War
I don't know.
II, I think, was World
History.
War
I
Three.
know it was in 1944 was
It
when
was the
they
19
dropped
early
Hiroshima,
40s, I
but
think. It ended in 45, if I'm not
Right,
mistaken.
Yeah, it did.
right, 1945. But I'm
It
thinking,
was in it was in like October of 1945 that we bombed Japan.
right. So you have all that innovation from there, right? And a lot of modern vehicles. Flight had been like mastered at that point. Really, really not quite mastered, but really well tuned in. You had all this technology come forth. Then we hit the electronic age. Then shit started changing when like we started building computers, and then we got the first phone, and then things started getting kind of crazy because you had the landlines before. I used to have a landline, right? Now it's all wireless. What the fuck? It's everybody's got these. We don't have landlines anymore. Um, and then you think of printers and all this other stuff. Everything's sent digitally now. Computers are way more advanced than they were at the start of the like 90s and shit. Look how far we've come, and we're only gonna go further. But
Yeah.
depending on the state of the world, obviously. If we don't stop trying to kill each other first, Jesus, fucking have a drink and cheers, you fucks. It's fucking St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah, for real.
Anyway, um, I don't know. I think about a lot of this in as we were talking about the are we in a simulation theory, like a couple of weeks ago, I was just thinking about the advancement, you know. It's kind of fucking mind blowing. Uh, Jaden, you've talked a lot about it. What are your thoughts on this?
On the simulation theory or what?
Like the advance in human technology.
Okay.
How far do you think? What,
So
what Let me hear it.
I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and he made some interesting points because of when he met with Elon Musk, and then the one I was watching, I don't remember. But anyway, he was talking about how symbiotic technology is in our lives. Like, it's not physically yet. It's not physically like a part of our bodies, but it's every bit a part of our survival, like just about. And I don't say this for
Right.
everybody because there are some civilizations that don't use internet and stuff like that. But for the larger portion of civilization, it's crazy how integrated technology has gotten at this point. Like every part of my day, there is a screen involved. Like pretty much,
That's
like other
pretty
than like
fucking
using the
weird. And that
restroom or like eating. But even then, I'll have my phone playing music in the shower, or I'll be watching TikToks while I'm eating. But
right.
it's crazy. And he was
There's
like, "What if this was the plan all along? Like, what if human beings were always destined to just be God?" And he put it so well, talking about like we are serving the machine essentially. Like the machine was it was the machine's
right.
plan all along
Started with the
to have us
TV,
created.
and now we're
Yeah, like
kind
it's
of
fucking
drones.
wild. But
Just
yeah, like you say, there's no telling. Before humans ended up dying out or becoming extinct, or if we survive somehow until the
right.
heat death of the universe, like there's no fucking telling.
And we're gonna be
Like,
fine as long as you know we can chill out. We can't have these major events like we're having right now, but we just need to chill out, and then we start innovating and working together and growing as an entire race, right?
so to that point, I just had the thought, like, I guarantee you, and I'm not trying to be political here or focus on the things that are going on in the war, but what do you think as a result of how Russia has failed? And they had like what, the world's second or third biggest military in the world?
Estimated,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, and they got wrecked essentially. Like, they're not winning
They're
like they
not
thought they
winning
were
at
going
all.
to.
They're
And so
getting their ass
even
kicked.
the soldiers, I've heard this is all from the internet, so take it with a grain of salt, but I've heard even the soldiers from the Russian military don't even want to be fighting. So if they don't want to be fighting
Listen,
and
they had no
they're under
idea.
Vladimir Putin, like
Right.
what other country could you see that says yes, we want war? Like do you think war will exist after this war?
I don't
Because I
think
mean the
so. I
backlash that
really
Russia's
don't.
look at
I
all the
really don't.
sanctions. Their people
I
are
think,
suffering because
well,
of this.
you still have other people that are like-minded. You know what I mean, politically, in the
Well,
nations.
sure,
Or
but
But
unless they're
and that's
it's
under someone.
those are the ones you need to worry about because they're the ones that could cause trouble if they wanted to. But I think a lot of the
it's
world really wants peace this time. I think it's
Yeah, I genuinely get that vibe. And it was
Mm,
like in that
But
Black Mirror
with
episode where they
exception of the
literally,
politicians. That's what I'm talking
no,
about.
I think that wars are going to shift in how they're fought. So there'll still be boots on the ground here and there, right? But it's very hard to get a bunch of people and billions worth of equipment to a location and then have to stage a war and fight because when you're fighting for your life, people will do shit you wouldn't believe. But
true.
when you now we're so connected, it's
Right,
good and bad because, you know, I think we're going to try to take down each other's operations. If you can shut down someone's way of communicating, information is what wins wars, not
right.
just
Yeah.
violence. So we're also interconnected. All that
That's
information is now accessible. It used to be it was a file written down. You had to break into a building and then
right,
find that file by hand, go through drawers, pull it out, and then take it back. Now I can sit here and get a file doing this. Now
Yeah.
that
right.
information's helpful. Once you've got that
It's
information, then you can start getting violent with it. But I think wars are going to be proxy wars, like we're seeing with people aiding Ukraine. We're like, all right, Ukraine, go fight them. We don't want to get involved, but you go fight them. And then you've
right.
got
So you've got the
all
support.
these cyber attacks,
Right.
and teenagers are doing cyber attacks.
Oh,
Like
fucking
they're
Anonymous,
taking
bro.
down
Did you hear
banks.
about fucking Anonymous? You hear what they did?
I did.
They fucking shut him completely out. They're pissed off. And I'm like, good on you. Like, good
Yeah.
fucking shit. You know, we'd heard about Anonymous. You know, they showed up out of nowhere when this internet thing started popping off. Anonymous started growing and doing really big things for the human race, such as exposing some really fucking nasty shit. Really fucking nasty shit about the politicians that are in office, the way the governments are set up, and they've been people try to shut them down, but they're too fucking, they're good, and
And they're all over the world
they're
too.
all over the world. You can't fucking shut them down. It's a whole fucking organization, and I praise them for what they've done in Ukraine. Over there in Russia, to shut them completely down. That is amazing. They locked them out of their banks. Like what the fuck?
So do you think vigilantism is a good or a bad thing? Because you're up
In
to
this
someone
case,
else's morality.
in this
In
case,
this
yes.
case, but
In this case,
what if it's not all cases? What if they make an
the
executive decision?
that's where leadership's important, like a proper use of good leadership. And so far from the things we've seen come out of Anonymous, I think I understand they have good leadership. You know, they know what they're doing, and that's hopefully as long as you've got that good leadership and you've got people that are making the right decisions and using the power, like with great power comes great responsibility. You know what I mean? They're most of these people are using it for good, and that's important. And it's the leaders of those people that will lead the way to that better use of that technology. Um, that's my thought on it. But like you're saying, there is that risk that they could flip the switch and turn a tide. But who knows?
Say they did. Say they did. And for whatever reason, they tried to like literally control the world in a sense, like they shut down, I don't know, like the internet for the entire world somehow in this theoretical example. How do you think America would respond as a nation? Like, say our internet went out, like
What do
maybe
you
our
do? What the fuck do you
like,
do?
what do you do?
You can't do shit, can you? Because you don't know where it came from, and now you can't find out. So,
Yeah, like what our
what are you
lives
gonna
would
do?
all change overnight. Like people
You
who work from home, like
you would
not
have
to
to
mention banks
completely
and
you would
everything.
have to completely build a new system. Honestly, if they completely wanted to shut us down, you'd have to start over, redo everything that requires to create the internet. You'd have to start completely fresh. Isn't that
Well,
fucking crazy?
the
That's
internet,
how
they
reliant we
have
are.
backup features, and they can
It does,
reboot it.
and
But
it
it's
can be repaired. That's the thing. But
we think the internet is like this mystical, fucking intangible thing. Did you know the internet has an actual weight? I think it's like 19 pounds or something. But the internet, or like milligrams, is something. But the internet has a physical weight. If you culminate it, it would have a weight to it. It's not some mysterious ether magic,
No,
and
it's
it comes
electricity
from
and all that
a
other shit.
system.
So
It comes
it's
from
right.
servers. It comes from
Servers,
so as long as there's
electricity,
something physically there that we can
power.
touch and fix, we're good. But if it was like all cloud computing and it came out of nothing and it was something no one could access or go to in a physical sense, if it disappeared,
You could just
it's
turn
like
the
it was
fucking
never there to
power
begin
off and
with.
it's over. That's it. Just a
That's what they
fucking
would do
EMP.
is they would
EMP
they would
that shuts
attack
the
power.
whole fucking thing down. You can't do jack shit without power, can you? This wouldn't be happening.
Speaking of
That's the real
power,
target.
speaking of power, in another one of his Joe Rogan's podcasts, he was talking about, imagine what the world would have been like if Tesla's wireless electricity was a thing. And the guy counters him and he's like, it's probably a good idea that it didn't because we wouldn't have radio or cell phone towers or anything because the frequency in the air would just like sabotage all that stuff. But then I was thinking, well, just like we adapted to what we have now, what could have came out of adapting to that? But
That would
I'd
have
never
been.
thought of
That's
that
a weird
before.
thought. That is a really weird thought. How connected would we be? How fucking weird would that be? Everything fucking
Never
run
know.
wirelessly.
Because of wired electricity, we got computers. It's like we wouldn't have that,
Right.
or would we have a different version of a computer?
That's a
It's
weird thought.
interesting to think of.
It's a really
So
weird
here's
thought.
the big question is privacy, right? All this comes down to privacy. If everyone's connected, everyone can see each other.
Right.
I, f- they say like, oh, I think I said it in the last podcast, the simulation we were talking about, VR chat and the metaverse, that's what it looks like we're headed to in a sense or in some facet of humanity.
Right.
So,
We're all
are you guys
interconnected.
okay with having these things and sacrificing your privacy? Or do you want to go back
I
to, I have the security,
honestly,
I am, because I honestly don't care.
at this
Like,
point,
I
it
have
doesn't
the
matter.
means to
At
defend
this point, it
myself.
doesn't matter. It's part of the culture. I don't know anybody that's, as far as like somebody that's not in a third world country, that doesn't have one of these or some
Even
form
there,
of
they
it.
do.
Even there, they do, right? And so I don't think, I don't know, we're all connected, and it's a good thing. I think it's benefiting people because people have, for the first time ever, from all across the world, have been able to actually express their thoughts and opinions on their not only political matters, but just music and being able to, just the connectivity. Look how much positivity and things have happened because of the internet. You know, that's huge. The music industry in and of itself, perfect example. The technology that, even I use, this the mixer boards and everything, that was an innovation in and of itself. So the connectivity I think is wonderful. I don't know. What do you think, Jaden?
Well, to the privacy question that Austin asked, um, I would say personally, I don't care because I don't do anything that could incriminate me. But to the sake of having privacy, I think we're all entitled to having some privacy. But I fully believe that anything to do with the internet, they have access and they monitor very
Right.
regularly already. I
I
mean,
mean,
I fully expect that already. And it
every
doesn't really affect me
right,
yet, but until it does, I won't care.
right. Good point. Like anonymous, as soon as we say that name, it probably pops up on their fucking server.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
they're talking about us. I guarantee that's already put in place. With as advanced as they are, they've probably already got it in place. So,
As many of them as there
and as
probably are,
many as
yeah.
them then are right, um, they've definitely got that in place. So anytime we say the word group anonymous or shit like that, but I applaud them for what they're doing. So I'm happy about it. But that's in this case, like we are saying. What do you think, Austin? Like about the connectivity? Do you think it's a good thing or not?
Well, I mean, look at us three. I'd have never met any of you if it weren't for VR chat and the internet and Discord.
Right.
And
I met one of my
to,
best friends in fucking VR chat. Isn't that crazy? Is
to go from what we were, I mean, we've always wanted connectivity, right? People travel the world, people go to places, but now I can hear these things from anybody. I mean, just go on the internet, you'll find a way.
right.
Um, I think that, you know, not to get political and start stating opinions, But if you look, a lot of younger people are more left leaning. And when you do that, typically that means that the government has a little more control, a little more monitoring.
Right.
There's more regulation on things, and so you sacrifice some freedoms because you're not worried about that. Like my industry, young people aren't getting into cars. They're not working on cars. They may buy them and show them
That's
off on
true.
Instagram, but
It's
they're
more,
not,
it's,
buying them and
yeah.
tinkering. And it's because they just don't care. Like there's Uber, why would you get a car
They're
There's a lot
when
also
of people
really
that don't
freaking
even know.
expensive.
There's a lot of people that don't even know how to work on their own vehicles anymore.
like
Nowadays, they're
my
making it
neighbors
where
didn't
you
know how to
can't.
check their tire pressure and they didn't know
People,
what it was
yeah.
supposed to be.
Well, and
And
that's
they
that comes down to the education. You gotta educate people. This should be in our fucking education.
but do we need if all the answers are right there, you know, I think we kind of grew up in that last little bit of where it's like, oh, Wikipedia is not a source, the internet won't help you, you need to just know this out of your head.
Right,
We've got these tools, and that's while it's true, you need to have a backup. You can learn about literally anything.
right.
Like,
If you
I learned
wanna,
to
In
speak
seconds.
another language through the internet. Like, why is it that we have to limit ourselves? Is it because
because
of,
we're lazy. Fucking humans are inclined to laziness. That's a quote
but
from,
that's what we
uh,
did. That's why we made these things is to make life easier. We
right,
succeeded in our goal. Our goal was to make things easier for ourselves. And a lot of bad came out of it, but I would say a lot of good came out of it. So the question you have to ask yourself is, you know, should we feel guilty for enjoying these things? Because there's a lot of
No.
guilt out there. It's like, oh, you should get
I
off your
don't
phone
think
and go talk
so.
to your family and this and that. Like,
Right,
it's okay to enjoy it as long as it doesn't consume who you are. But
exactly.
then you've got people whose whole lives, like Markiplier or, streamers, or even you're pretty
Right.
connected through your podcast and all this stuff. So, you know,
But it doesn't
it's a whole
overwhelm me.
different
There,
world.
I go out. I don't. This doesn't envelop me all the time. I'm very busy with DJing, obviously, and we have the podcast and everything here, which has been awesome, and I love it. I do it all the time.
Hmm.
VR chat, another perfect thing. But I get out of the house. I'm not always doing this. Tonight I'm gonna go to the bar and get drunk and see friends in real life. So I'm not constantly hooked into it. And I think a lot of people, especially our generation, talking about that, is like we understand there's time to shut it off. I don't know. And I think you
Yeah.
guys are the same way. Sometimes, I don't know, if you sit here all day, and I've experienced this myself, you sit here all day, whether you're in a Discord call or, you sit here with friends, there's a time to go to bed. And I think everybody knows that, but time
Yeah.
to shut it off. Because
So to
some,
Austin's point earlier, he was like talking about we were like the last people, really one of the last generations to go through the get outside and play with sticks and rocks, use your imagination, get some grass stains on your knees. I was literally the epitome of that. So like for the
right,
first,
I was too.
15 years of my life or so,
Right,
like my dad was very much like Austin in the sense like he made me go out there and watch him work on trucks. He made me learn how to do
right.
all those things
It
because
was
one day I'm
important.
not going to be around and you're going to need to know this stuff.
And
And
I
I
think
understand that
when you,
and
I think as men, if we're, ever gonna make an impact on the next generation, we gotta teach it. If we're gonna have children, we gotta teach it.
Well, good luck
Um,
because I'll tell you firsthand, these cars are not like they used to be. Like you get
that's
out
the
and work
other
on a
thing, yeah.
'67 Chevy. I mean, it's just
But I
simple.
think
Everything
it's
goes to, but now, dude, these things
now
are put together in the weirdest ways.
they
right,
They're all
intentionally do
plastic.
that.
right.
They intentionally do that
They
so you
intentionally
have
do
to
it.
take it to
But
them
I'm
to
talking
work on
about,
it. They don't
I'm
want
ta-
people fixing their own cars. They lose money
Yeah.
that way.
right. I'm talking about the simple things though. You know,
Oh,
the
checking your tires, checking your
right,
oil,
checking
and
your tires, checking your oil, the shit like that. Simple stuff. Um,
yeah.
we
But
need to
not
teach that.
everybody
Being
has,
able to
a
change your
jack to get
oil
their car off
yourself.
the ground. They
Being
don't
able to
have
change your oil
wrenches and
yourself and
that
understanding
shit's
how that works.
expensive.
Right. Like I can change the oil in my car by myself. And I'm glad that I can do that. I've been
Yeah.
taught that and I want to teach that to the next generation. As long as, like you're saying, the vehicles are still workable. You don't want something that's not you can't work on it at all. And hopefully they don't get to that point where you need a fucking
They're
degree
already going that
to
way.
fucking pull them apart. And listen,
Eventually, you're not able to buy parts for an old model,
I know,
So
isn't
then
that
you gotta
crazy?
buy new or
Well,
newer.
and that's the thing. I think a lot of vehicles are going to be reused in a way. If you need parts for something, there's a lot of in the mechanic world. There's a lot of people that reuse a lot of stuff. Part shops and all that, which is nice. But there's a lot of vehicles that, like, say I have a 2005 Chevy Malibu. All right, that vehicle, it's a good vehicle and it's been great. But once the engine goes to shit, it usually just gets put in a lot and sits there as a parts car. How many fucking parts cars out there? You ever been to a fucking lot and looked at like the giant fucking sea of just cars? And they're
Well,
all about that era,
the
right?
insurance companies control all that. So here's a tip for anybody listening. The insurance company has policies, and when you sign up for them, you definitely need to read the fine print because when you get hit in the ass, we've got a Jeep Cherokee that's been there since December of last year, and it just needs a headlight. We can't get a new one, and this is like a 19 Jeep Cherokee. It's not like a 98 Grand Cherokee sitting out there. We
Right.
can't get the headlight, and we can't use aftermarket or used part because their insurance policy won't let them use that. It has to be new factory parts to keep with the warranty because once it falls out of
And that's
warranty,
where
they
they
won't
fuck
cover
you.
most of that.
Right, that's where they'll fuck you. And that's the problem with a lot of those new. And that's the other thing. A lot of people are leasing vehicles now. How many people do you know that are leasing a vehicle right now? That's
I
another.
leased one
Bizarre.
for 5 years.
Right. So that's another place they fuck us. Um, it's just, man,
I mean,
that's
it's not necessarily fucking, it's really to fill a need. I mean, some people can only afford to lease.
right,
Everything is fucking expensive and getting more expensive, so not everyone can go out and buy a new car or, even a used one sometimes.
right.
What
Um,
do you guys think about basic? Like I'm talking sheer life and death survival. We've talked about cars and the internet and knowing how to check your tires, but what about like hunting? Because there's not, there's
oh,
a
that's
lot of
fading out too.
places to hunt
That's fading
because
out too.
everything's being bought up, the animals are being pushed out, and
Well,
I won't go to a game reserve because
no,
those people are
not,
insane. They'll
yeah.
shoot at anything that moves and you'll get shot. So going out and if everything went to hell, we go to war with Russia and they shut down our internet, you know, and shut down the power, your food starts to go bad. Who knows how to preserve meat? Who knows how to go out and cut up deer
That's
at
the
our
thing
age?
is, I think a lot of that has to be taught through the generations because a lot of the Western culture. See, I'm in the West, and a lot of us growing up, that's just part of how it is. You're just going hunting.
Yeah.
Hunting was deeply rooted in my family, and everybody out here in Utah, aiming here, Utah, Nevada, all of this is like Native American culture, and you have the hunting culture built into it, and most of the West, a lot of people hunt. It's just what it is. There's a lot of people nationwide that hunt. It's just it's been a tradition for so long that it's important, and I think that's really important for people to understand. Hunting is a prime example of one of those things that we hopefully keep up as people because it's important.
But
Um,
there's a lot of shaming going on. And
that's true.
people don't like pews and they don't like the idea of having to kill an animal, but they'll go eat a processed burger of a cow that's been strapped into a barn for
Right.
its whole life.
But
So
that
I
hunting
think,
culture is still there, and I don't think. Well, I like you're saying, I think we're the last generation to actually know and have the skills to actually process and do certain things. If we were to get attacked tomorrow, I think we'd be all right. But say, uh, 100 years from now, who knows? You know, if I'm alive that long, which Jesus fucking Christ. But
I
with the
don't want to
event,
be. I've
Jesus.
seen 95. I don't want to live
Right.
that long. Everything hurts.
Um,
Literally.
but say,
Uh,
75 years from now, we get attacked, and we're the old generation that, this is starting to fade out now, and 75 years later, it's already gone. So no one knows how to work on vehicles. Nobody except the experts, right? So it's very limited down to the people that know what's going on, and that's a problem if we got attacked at that point. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wild podcast. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I really have to pee. I've been drinking, so gotta piss. But cheers once again. I love you guys. You guys are great. Thanks for coming on. This has been
Oh,
fun.
hell, dude.
Um, and yeah, ladies and gentlemen, have a happy I almost said Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, dude. Happy
It's
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving. Jesus, we've already jumped halfway through the year in a couple of seconds.
Sean
What the fuck
Patrick's Day,
happened?
Feels like it. It really does feel like it.
Jesus. Oh, fucking hell. It feels like
Uh,
Thanksgiving was just yesterday. What the fuck's is that? Time's
Actually,
fucking
literally.
it
flying.
was.
Time is fucking flying. What the fuck? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And happy St. Paddy's Day. Bye.